Okay, good evening all. So this is my first video for three-dimensional geometry. Okay, sorry थोड़ा late हो गया, but still let's continue. So three-dimensional geometry में अगर हम बात करें तो first of all as I told you in the class also, first formula that is important for us is distance formula, basically, which is the formula which is used to find the distance between 2 points. Okay, so if suppose we have 2 points, suppose this point is P and this point is Q. Now coordinates of point P are x1 comma y1 comma z1, and coordinates of point Q are x2 comma y2 comma z2. So distance formula, like we use distance formula for finding distance in two-dimensional geometry, same formula we can use in three-dimensional geometry also. But now the difference is that now you also have the z coordinate for both the points. Okay, so now if you want to find the distance, we will apply the distance formula like we do in two-dimensional geometry. Okay, we take the difference of the x coordinates, take the square of that, so x2 minus x1 square, then take the difference of the y coordinates, y2 minus y1 square, and then take the difference of the z coordinates. Okay, and square of that. So this gives us the formula between these 2 points P and Q. Okay, PQ is equal to root of x2 minus x1 square plus y2 minus y1 square plus z2 minus z1 square, complete square root of that. Okay, so this was distance formula. Now we must understand two terms which are important for understanding three-dimensional geometry. Okay, one is direction cosines, and the other is direction ratios. Okay, so first of all we will focus on direction cosines. Okay, what do you mean by direction cosines? Okay, so if suppose this is x-axis, this is y-axis, and this axis is z-axis. Okay, we have a line L. Line L makes angle alpha with the x-axis, makes angle beta with the y-axis, and makes angle gamma with the z-axis. Okay, gamma I cannot show because this is only in a plane, so I can only draw the line in this plane. Okay, I cannot project this line in a three-dimensional space. Okay, but I am asking you to suppose that to assume that this line is in three-dimensional space. Okay, so suppose this line makes angle alpha with the x-axis, it makes angle beta with the y-axis, makes angle gamma with the z-axis. So in that case, cos alpha will become L. Okay, suppose this line is capital L. So cos alpha will become L, cos beta will become M, and cos gamma will become N. And then this L, M and N are, these terms are called as the direction cosines for this line. L, M and N, these terms are called as direction cosines for this line. Okay, so if we take the square of these terms, L square plus M square plus N square, so L square is cos square alpha, then M square is cos square beta, and then N square is cos square gamma. Okay, so if suppose this point is say P, okay, and this coordinate is x1 comma y1 comma z1, so cos alpha, how do we write cos alpha? Cos alpha will be the, if I take the projection here, okay, and this line is L, O, and this is A, so what will be cos alpha? Cos alpha will be OA upon OP, so OA upon OP square. Similarly, if I want to write cos beta, so how do I write cos beta? I will take the perpendicular on this point, suppose this point is Q, so I will take the base here. Now in order to write cos beta, how will I write cos beta? Base upon hypotenuse, so OQ upon OP, okay. And then similarly, if the foot of perpendicular from point P onto the z-axis is R, if the foot of perpendicular from point P onto the z-axis is R, then we can write OR upon OP square. Okay, so if we take LCM, we get OP square in the denominator. In the numerator, we will get OA square plus OQ square plus OR square. Okay, now using Pythagoras theorem, OA square plus OQ square, these two are perpendicular, so OA square plus OQ square, OQ is equal to AP, so OA square plus AP square will be equal to OP square. Okay, OA square plus OQ, in place of OQ I can write AP, so OA square plus AP square will become OP square, and then OP square sorry, not OP square. This will be equal to actually, this is actually, this point is in the space. Okay, this point is in the space like that. So if we this point is in the space, so basically OA square plus OQ square will be the square of the distance from the O to the foot of perpendicular from P to this plane. Okay, so suppose that is OM square, and then we take the square of OM square and OR square divided by OP square. So both of these will be equal using Pythagoras theorem, so we get 1. Okay, so we have this result for direction cosines. L square plus M square plus N square is equal to 1. Always remember the sum of squares of the direction cosines. If the direction cosines are L, M and N, if the direction cosines are L, M and N, and we take sum of the squares of these direction cosines, which means L square plus M square plus N square, then we get the value 1. Okay, now we come to direction ratios. Okay, direction ratios basically are a scalar direction ratios basically are a scalar multiple of direction cosines. Okay, suppose the direction ratios are A, B and C. So then we can say that A will be a scalar multiple for L. So we say L into lambda. Then B will be a scalar multiple for M. So B is equal to lambda into M. And C will be scalar multiple for N. So C is equal to lambda into N. Okay. Suppose we are assuming we are taking the ABC as the direction ratios for a line. Then A will be a scalar multiple for L, B will be a scalar multiple for M, and C will be a scalar multiple for N. Okay, so now if I want to if I want to write, I can now use the relation L square plus M square plus N square is equal to 1, because we know that sum of the squares for direction cosine is equal to 1. So L we can write as A by lambda, so A by lambda square. Then M we can write as B by lambda, so B by lambda square. And N we can write as C by lambda, so C by lambda square is equal to 1. Which means we get lambda square is equal to A square plus B square plus C square. And taking the square root, we can write the value of lambda is plus minus root of A square plus B square plus C square. Okay, so we get the result lambda square is equal to A square plus B square plus C square. Taking the square root, we get lambda is equal to plus minus root of A square plus B square plus C square. So on substituting the value here, we can get the value of L, M and N in terms of lambda. So L we can write as A upon root of A square plus B square plus C square plus minus. Similarly, M I can write as plus minus B upon root of A square plus B square plus C square. And similarly, N I can write as plus minus C upon root of A square plus B square plus C square. Okay, so this is how you can write the direction cosines. The direction cosines are L, M and N. So we can express direction cosines in terms of direction ratios using these formulae. Okay, direction ratios can be a lot, because if I suppose take the value of lambda as 1, then I get one pair of direction ratios. If I take the value of lambda as 2, then I get another pair of direction ratios. If I take the value of lambda as 3, then I get another pair of direction ratios. So direction ratios can be infinite values, but direction cosines are always unique. Okay, direction cosines are always unique. Okay, so continuing further, so we talked about distance formula, we talked about direction cosines and direction ratios. Now continuing further, if suppose I want to write the direction cosines for internal angle bisector of a line. Okay, I have this line whose direction cosines are L1, M1 and N1. I have another line whose direction cosines are L2, M2, N2. Now I want to draw the direction cosines of a line which is the angle bisector between them, internal angle bisector. Okay, we have this internal angle bisector between them. I want to write the direction cosines for this line, dotted line. Okay, this line is acting as the internal angle bisector. So how do I write that? Okay, so for that, suppose this point is O, this point is A, and this point is B. OA length is 1, OB length is also 1. So in that case, this length, if we construct this, then this will become a rhombus. Okay, so this will become a rhombus. So how do I write OC? Or if I say, if this becomes a rhombus, then, and I draw another diagonal, so this point M, we can write the coordinates for M as, this point A has coordinates L1, M1, N1. This point B has coordinates L2, M2, N2. So how can I write the coordinates for M? L1 plus L2 by 2, comma, M1 plus M2 by 2, comma, N1 plus N2 by 2. Okay, these will be the coordinates for this point M, because we know that diagonals in a rhombus bisect each other, right? Diagonals in a rhombus bisect each other. So M is the midpoint of AB. So I can write the coordinates for point M as L1 plus L2 by 2, then M1 plus M2 by 2, and N1 plus N2 by 2. Okay. Now, how do I calculate the direction cosines for this line, which is the angle bisector? In order to find the direction cosines for this line, now this point is O, so this is origin. So we must find the length OM. So how do I find the length OM? By using the distance formula. So root of L1 plus L2 by 2 ka square plus M1 plus M2 by 2 ka square plus N1 plus N2 by 2 ka square. Square root of L1 plus L2 by 2 ka square, M1 plus M2 by 2 ka square, N1 plus N2 by 2 ka square. Okay, so if we take the LCM, we get the LCM as 4. Square root of 4 is 1 by 2. So 1 by 2 we can take out. L1 square plus M1 square plus N1 square will become 1. L2 square plus M2 square plus N2 square will become 1. And then 2 times L1 L2 plus M1 M2 plus N1 N2. Right, L1 L2 plus M1 M2 plus N1 N2 is cos theta. Okay, when we have two lines, one line direction ratio cosines is L1 M1 N1, the other line direction cosines is L2 M2 N2, and we have angle theta between them. So this angle is theta by 2, this angle is theta by 2. Complete angle is theta. Then we can write cos theta for this expression. Okay, so which means we get half into square root of 2 plus 2 cos theta. So half into square root of 2 plus 2 cos theta. So if we take 2 common inside the square root, 1 plus cos theta will become 2 cos square theta by 2. So this expression becomes 4 cos square theta by 2. So 4 cos square theta, if you take the square root of that, we get 2 cos theta by 2. So 2 cancelled, which means this length is cos of theta by 2. Okay, inside the square root you get 4 cos square theta by 2. If you take square root, so 2 cos theta by 2, 2 gets cancelled, so cos of theta by 2. Okay, which means if I want to write direction cosines for this line, so we have to divide the coordinates of this point by the length of this line segment. So which means direction cosines will be L1 plus L2 divided by 2 cos theta by 2, then M1 plus M2 divided by 2 cos theta by 2, and then third direction cosine will be N1 plus N2 divided by 2 cos theta by 2. L1 plus L2 divided by 2 cos theta by 2, M1 plus M2 divided by 2 cos theta by 2, and N1 plus N2 divided by 2 cos theta by 2. This will become the direction cosines for this line, which is the internal angle bisector. Okay. Now I'll just tell you the result for the external angle bisector. We can also prove the result for external angle bisector, but I will not prove it because it will just waste our time. So I'll just give you the result for external angle bisector. External angle bisector. For external angle bisector, the direction cosines are L1 minus L2 upon 2 sin theta by 2, then M1 minus M2 divided by 2 sin theta by 2, and then N1 minus N2 divided by 2 sin theta by 2. Okay. So this is the difference. For internal angle bisector, we have plus in the numerator everywhere. Here we have minus in the numerator everywhere. For internal angle bisector, you have cos 2 cos theta by 2 in the denominator. But for external angle bisector, we have 2 sin theta by 2 in the denominator. Okay. So this was this was the part which was related to the direction cosines related to internal angle bisector and external angle bisector. Okay, now the other thing comes is how do I derive the relation. Okay, so if suppose we have L1 M1 N1 the direction cosines for this line, L2 M2 N2 direction cosines for this line, and we have angle theta between them. So how do I find the relation between theta and the direction cosines for the two lines? Okay, we have the direction cosines for this line is L1 M1 N1, which means unit vector parallel to this will be L1 I cap plus M1 J cap plus N1 K cap. Similarly, the unit vector parallel to this line will be L2 I cap plus M2 J cap plus N2 K cap. Okay, unit vector parallel to this line will be L1 I cap plus M1 J cap plus N1 K cap. Unit vector parallel to this line will be L2 I cap plus M2 J cap plus N2 K cap. So now the angle between these two lines will be same as the angle between these two vectors. Okay, because this vector is parallel to this line and this vector is parallel to this line. So the angle which is occurring between these two lines, same angle will occur between these two vectors also. So if we take the dot product L1 I cap plus M1 J cap plus N1 K cap dot L2 I cap dot L2 I cap plus M2 J cap plus N2 K cap. Okay, so if we take the dot product of two vectors, first we multiply the magnitude of both of them. Both of them are unit vectors, so their magnitude is 1 and the angle between them is cos theta. So multiply by cos theta. Now if you take the dot product, we take the product of their same coefficient. So we take the product of their I coefficient, then product of their J coefficients, and then product of their K coefficients. So L1 L2 plus M1 M2 plus N1 N2 is equal to cos theta. Okay, this is an important relation. Always remember, when two lines are given to you, their direction cosines are also given to you. This relation basically relates the angle theta between these two lines with the direction cosines of the two lines. Okay, so from this we can also derive two results. First result is if the two lines are parallel. Okay, if the two lines are parallel. So if the two lines are parallel, in that case L1 by L2 is equal to M1 by M2 is equal to N1 by N2 is equal to plus minus 1. L1 by L2 is equal to M1 by M2 is equal to N1 by N2 is equal to plus minus 1. Okay, which means either L1 will be equal to L2 or L1 will be equal to minus L2. Similarly, either M1 will be equal to M2 or M1 will be equal to minus M2. Similarly, N1 will be equal to N2 or either N1 will be equal to minus N2. And the other case is if the two lines are perpendicular. So if the two lines are perpendicular, then theta is equal to 90 degree, and then theta is equal to 90 degree, cos 90 will be 0. So when the two lines are perpendicular, then we have this result. L1 L2 plus M1 N2 plus N1 N2 is equal to 0. When the two lines are perpendicular, then we have this result. L1 into L2 plus M1 into M2 plus N1 into N2 is equal to 0. Okay, so always remember these two results always hold. When two lines are parallel, then we have the ratio of the corresponding direction cosine remains the same. And when the two lines are perpendicular, then L1 L2 plus M1 M2 plus N1 N2, this term is equal to 0. Okay, so this was one thing. And then we can also find the relation between theta and the direction ratios. Okay, so cos theta is equal to, I just derived that this is equal to L1 L2 plus M1 M2 plus N1 N2. Okay, and we know we can write direction cosines in terms of direction ratios also. So this will become A1 A2 plus B1 B2 plus C1 C2 divided by root of A1 square plus B1 square plus C1 square into root of A2 square plus B2 square plus C2 square. Okay, L1 we can write as A1 upon root of A1 square plus B1 square plus C1 square. L2 we can write as A2 upon root of A2 square plus B2 square plus C2 square. Similarly, M1 I can write as B1 upon root of A1 square plus B1 square plus C1 square. M2 I can write as B2 upon root of A2 square plus B2. Okay, so like that I have derived this result. So cos theta we can also write in terms of the direction ratios using this relation. So again we can derive two results. If theta is 90, which means lines are perpendicular. If theta is 90, which means lines are perpendicular. So cos theta will be 0. So if cos theta will be 0, we have the numerator term a1 a2 plus b1 b2 plus c1 c2. So this will be equal to 0. Right? If theta is 90, which means lines are perpendicular. So cos theta will become 0. So the numerator expression will become 0. a1 a2 plus b1 b2 plus c1 c2 is equal to 0. And if theta is equal to 0 degree, which means lines are parallel. Okay? If lines are parallel, then the ratio of the corresponding direction ratios a1 by a2 is equal to b1 by b2 is equal to c1 by c2. Okay, when the lines are parallel, that is the angle between the lines is 0. Theta is 0 degree. Then we can say that the ratio of the corresponding direction ratios a1 by a2 is equal to b1 by b2 is equal to c1 by c2. Okay. So for the time being, you can remember these results. These are important results, and then I'll be taking questions based on them in tomorrow's class, and then in the next video I'll start with the equation of line. Okay, so there are two equations, basically vector form and Cartesian form, so that we'll discuss later. Okay, so for now I think this much should be enough. So thanks for watching this video.